preparation for the incoming administration, I had my Mirena IUD replaced. And there's a lot of really interesting content around IUDs on social media, and a lot of those opinions are negative. So I wanted to offer my experience, because this time I would say I've had a Mirena inserted 3 different times. This was by far the most positive experience I had, and I want to talk about maybe why that was. And as an economist, I will also slip in some economics about birth control, because when we are talking about women being economically independent, one of the biggest signifiers of that is their ability to be able to control when they choose to have children. We know from economic studies that when people do not have access or do not use birth control, they have a 42% higher odds of being in poverty after birth. We also know that when birth control options like the pill were instituted in the 1960s, they actually led to the convergence of the gender gap between men and women by around 10% by 1980 and around 30% by 1990. Because birth control options like the pill, like the IUD, give both married couples and single people the ability to choose when they have children and prevent unwanted pregnancies, it leads to greater economic prosperity, specifically for those women. And I think it's ridiculous to ignore the economic benefit that birth control has for people when discussing policies around it. Personally, I like the IUD because it gives me the peace of mind that I don't have to think about taking a pill every day, having a patch, or changing out things. My Mirena is good for now up to 8 years, according to the FDA. Last night, I took 2 misoprostol pills to open up my cervix, and then this morning I took 2 ibuprofen to reduce pain from cramping. My doctor was incredible. She actually offered me a paracervical block as well as a lidocaine gel on my cervix to prevent the pain that people feel, because essentially they're opening up your cervix in order to put the IUD in your uterus, and that causes a lot of cramping, which causes a lot of pain. I found that the pain was very much mitigated by this. The injection itself felt a little bit like a bee sting with a little bit of burning, but it was far more an easier insertion that I've had in my last 2 when I did it without pain control. It was done in 5 to 10 minutes. I maybe had some light cramping going home, but it wasn't any worse than a period cramp, and I feel good about it. Honestly, I think the anxiety of getting the procedure done was worse than how I felt mentally when I was getting it done and when it was finished. And in general, I had a pretty great experience. Now, I do think a lot of that depends on who your doctor is. So